One of our subscribers has requested that I give her a little routine that will benefit her with her running. I've been talking her through and coaching her through the process of starting to run, and I've had a lot of fun working with her. She has, however, started getting a little bit of pain and injury into her calves, so I just requested that she send me a little video of how she runs and what she does, and based on what I've seen and based on her pain and her injuries, I have compiled a little bit of a routine together that will benefit her. So Gigi, thank you so much for your response. Thank you for your reciprocation with me, and I hope that these exercises work for you. What we have here, and I am aware that you may not have these, so we have put together a little bit of a basket. Put a link in the description below so that you can just click on that link and get this order. But I need you to have a looped resistance band or TheraBand. This is a medium based one. You should do a basic, medium and a thicker one that will benefit you, so as you get stronger you can vary the different resistances and strengths. Then we have a straight resistance band or TheraBand. This also is a medium one, but in the link or the basket that we have created for you, there are a number of different resistances to go according to what your strengths you are or what type of exercise you might need to be using those TheraBands for. Then we have a roller, also part of the basket. It's very beneficial. Not only are you going to be using this for different types of rehabilitation, but it's also nice for recovery. And one of our other subscribers, John, has requested that we do a little recovery rolling session. So stay tuned. We are going to be doing a recovery rolling session in our next video. So then if you order all of these, then we have all the equipment that we need for our different types of exercises that we are going to be doing. And lastly, you need an exercise step. If you don't have one, you can do a DIY. What we've done is taken an old pallet and just wrapped a little blanket around it. What we really want is that you have a little bit of an elevated surface for one of our exercises that we are going to be doing. You can additionally use the pavement surface before you go running. So we're going to start with our warm-up before we get into our exercises that will assist with the strengthening of the relative muscles that are needed according to these types of pain and injury that you might be feeling. In this particular case, we are working with someone that's got very, very tight calves. They've got weak glutes and they have an inability to activate their hamstrings. So we are going to be doing exercises that will improve those components. So if you do struggle with any one of those, this video is perfect for you. So I would recommend that you take a look and see what's inside and watch all the way to the end. We're going to start lying on our backs with the TheraBand wrapped around our foot. We're going to start with that right foot and we're just going to do 8 lifts and lows. We're lengthening and extending that left leg. We're just lifting and lowering, allowing that mobility into that hip joint and a stretch into the back of that hamstring. We're going to do 8 on each side. And let's do 2 more. From here, you're just going to take that band and you're going to lift it a little bit higher and you're pointing that toe towards your nose and then lifting it up. So this one is getting into that calf. You're getting a little bit of a neural burn or like a burning sensation down the back of your calf while we lift and lower those toes from our nose towards the ceiling. And let's do 2 more. And we're just going to hold for a 10-second count just before we move on. 9, 8, keeping those toes pointing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can see there's also mobility happening in that ankle joint, which is also something that is much needed when you are running or even walking or just going about your daily activities or your daily routine. Let's do 4 more of these. 3 and 2 and 1. And changing, lifting that band up a little bit more up that foot and extending that leg, wanting an equal distance between each side of the TheraBand and holding tightly and securely, allowing that neural or burning sensation on the back of your calf. And let's do 3 more with a 10-second hold. That's 1 and 2 and 3, and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly dropping down. From here, we are going to take this roller. And so this particular exercise is focused on strengthening those hamstrings, but also getting that eccentric contraction, which is lengthening that hamstring as you activate. So you want to focus on maintaining that posture, but also to maintain that good activation as well. So I'm going to do a few little reverse bridge warm-ups just to get that hamstring nice and warm, and then we're going to get into some exciting exercises using that roller. But for now, we're just going to do a few pelvic curls into those reverse bridges. So inhale, and on the exhale, just rolling that pelvis up towards the ceiling, lifting those hips, squeezing those glutes. In this position, you're really going to focus on digging those heels into the ground, allowing that hamstring activation. I want you to emphasize that glute squeeze so that you can squeeze and imagine those hips opening as you're squeezing. You're going to inhale and exhale, roll yourself, articulating through that spine back to starting point. And we're going to do 2 more of these. And inhale, exhale, rolling yourself back up towards the ceiling, squeezing those glutes, squeezing those hamstrings. Remember the positioning of your feet. You want them a fist width apart and 1.5 feet away from your glutes. And last one, we're going to hold for 10 seconds, double leg and single leg, and slowly up. You can see that pelvis moving as I lift and lower, squeezing those glutes. We're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and extending that left leg, aligning those knees and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Please make sure that you are lengthening that hip, extending that leg and aligning those hips. Slowly down, lifting the other leg, extending, pointing those toes, making sure that you're not dropping that hip like that. You want to lift and activate, aligning those hips and activating that core. Let's go for another 3, 2, 1, and slowly dropping that leg, lifting those hips to slowly roll back down to starting point. You should be getting a nice burn down that back part of your glutes and into those hamstrings. From here, very slow and controlled movement. I want you to place your toes on that roller. And I want you to be aware that that roller is going to be unstable. So you've got to work extra hard to maintain that control and stability. You're going to lift those hips up towards the ceiling. As you can feel and see, there's wonky and movement happening down at the bottom of my feet, but you need to stabilize and control. We're going to do a few double leg rolls. So you're just rolling and extending that leg while you are maintaining that hip height and lifting back up. Please make sure that you're not rolling down like that, that you are maintaining hip height and extending those knees while you maintain that pelvic and pubic positioning under that belly. And let's do 4 more, 2 and 3 and 4. And lifting those hips to slowly lower yourself back down. You should be getting a deep burn all the way down the back of your feet and legs. All right, let's control bringing those feet in, right tucked in under those glutes on your tiptoes, lifting up. We're going to do 4 on each leg, lifting left leg into tabletop and extending and bringing back. And extending and bringing back, and 2 more, and back, and dropping down, and that is and lifting, and other leg, and extending, and lifting back, and extending, and back. And last one, and dropping down, lifting those hips to slowly roll yourself back down. From here, we want to stretch out. From here, we want to stretch out those hamstrings. They should be feeling quite knotted and tight. So we're just going to grab that band again and just hold for a 10-second hold before we move on to the next exercise. And slowly over to the other leg. And you can do that set that I've just done with that roller 3 times. So 4 double leg extensions and then 4 single leg extensions on each side. Before we move on to the next exercise, this one, you want to strengthen those glute med and mid muscles, these muscles that lie down the side of your hips. These muscles are very important for stability as well as external rotation of the knee and the hip. So when you're running, you also want to make sure that even though you're running forward, you want to have that lateral strength to stabilize when you're going in that forward motion. So I want you to really be aware of focusing on that rotation of that external rotation of that knee while maintaining stability of that hip. So ankles in line with hips, in line with shoulders, and I want you to have a slight forward rotation of that upper hip. And you're going to have your feet also again about a foot and a half away from your glutes, and I want you to lift both legs up into a 45-degree angle. So this leg is stabilizing and maintaining that secure position, while this one lifts and rotates outwards. While you're doing that though, I don't want you to fall back. I want you to rotate that hip forward, and you're just lifting and rotating. This one is stabilizing. You can see that my leg wants to go up as that resistance of the band pulls away. So you just make sure that you are keeping that stability with that core activation. So squeezing, really focusing on that external rotation. And let's do 4 more. So we're going to do 8 big pulsations with 8 mini pulsations. Mini ones are just there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to hold for 8. You can see my knee is still up and it's still maintaining that stability. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just bringing those knees back in line with each other. I've got an L shape with my body. And we're doing that same thing, but we are lifting that ankle and that knee up at the same time, all the way opening and closing, keeping that 90-degree angle in that knee. We're going to do 8. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 more, 7, and 8. You're going to hold there, extend, pointing that toe towards the wall in front of you, and pulsations just for 8 counts. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold for 8, 7, 6, 5. Please make sure you're not slumping into that shoulder. 3, 2, 1, down, and turning over to the other side. This one you should be feeling a deep glute burn into those sides, but it's a welcoming burn. It's a burn that we want. It's one that's only going to benefit us, but I wouldn't recommend that you go for a run straight after this. I would recommend that you do a static stretch, which is in one of the other videos on my channel, so take a look at that one as well. Let's start lifting those knees, just a light 45-degree angle, and lifting and lowering, forward rotation of that upper hip. You've got to really focus that to push that hip forward. Otherwise, this exercise is going to be redundant. It's going to be pointless, in vain. So Just make sure. I have a tendency with my hip on this side just to want to roll back because that glute isn't activating properly. So I really got to work extra hard. So because of that, I think that if you do struggle, you want to start with a lighter resistance before you jump straight into that medium. Let's do our little pulsations. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down, bringing those knees back, making that L motion or position with your body, crisp posture in those shoulders, and we're just going to lift and lower that bent knee for 8 counts. That's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Keep going. 6 and 7 and 8, and extending, pointing that toe towards the wall in front of you for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and holding for 8, 7. Forward hip, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. Before we move on to the next exercise, we want to stretch out those glutes. We're just going to do some static stretching because those muscles are nice and warm. So let's place our right ankle on our left knee, hug that knee to chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and changing over and hugging that knee to chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to get into that calf activation. So we just make sure that the step that you're using or your DIY step that you have created is close to a wall or something that you can hold on if you do potentially lose balance. So let's get into it. I want you to start placing your toes on the end of your step. And just make sure you can see I'm holding on the wall behind me. You want to make sure that your toes are right on the edge and you're in a tiptoe position. Generally, someone will have, if they are struggling with an injury, the one side is a little bit tighter or in more pain than the other side. So you want to lift yourself up using both legs, and then you lift the right leg and lower yourself down below the level of that step, allowing a stretch down that calf as you lower. We're going to do 8 on each side. So this one, even if you are doing any form of exercise or you're running and you find that your calf muscles tend to tighten up while you're running, this is a perfect exercise that you can do just to stop, stretch, and loosen up those calves and continue then with your run. We're going to move on to that other side and up and down. We're going up with 2 legs, down with 1. Again, this is another type of eccentric calf or stretch or activation. Eccentric is the lengthening of that muscle during that contraction. So you can see my calf is lengthening, but I'm still activating as I lower the leg down. This particular exercise I want you to do 3 times, but in between each set you're going to do a calf stretch, and right on the step that you're using, or if it's too high you can go against the wall, lifting that heel up and you straightening and lengthening that body, and you're just leaning yourself in towards that toe. So you want to drop that heel but lift those toes and leaning forward, allowing a stretch down that calf. And we're just going to release for 5, release and stretch for 5 counts before we hold for 10 seconds. And let's do 2 more. We're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and other side. Lifting up that toe and just leaning in. That's 1. Slow and controlled. 2 and 3, 4 and 5. We're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly coming back to your mat. Lastly, once you've done that sequence, I want you to do some rolling, just rolling out any form of tight areas in your body. So that's what this is for. Take a look at the next video so that you can see a perfect rolling routine that will help you get that recovery in. And I hope that helps. I hope that works. Let me know. Give me some feedback. If there's anything else that you might be struggling with, give it to me in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to create a video that will be specific to your type of injury or pain or condition. So let me know, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can get more videos just like this one. Looking forward to seeing you soon, and here is to a happy and healthy you. See you in the next video.